Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Kennedy. I'm welcoming you to yet another Stone Cold Hockey video for the 91-92 Chicago Blackhawks, which is the team we've decided to do. We are in second place in the North. We are getting crushed by Detroit. We're at 500, by the way. Minnesota, Toronto, and St. Louis are fighting for third place. Probably our opponent, Chicago. Vancouver, Winnipeg, and Calgary fighting in the Smythe, with Edmonton fourth, LA fifth, 3 points back. Montreal crushing Boston. Right on the Adams, with Hartford and Buffalo fighting. Buffalo 4 points on Quebec. Rangers, Washington, Pittsburgh looking pretty decent in their spots, with New Jersey leading the Isles by 1 point. Brett Hall with 39 goals, Tom Poos 37, Kevin Stevens 37. Our own JR is 6, while Gary Roberts and Joe Mullen ahead of Jeremy Rock with 31. Points wise, Tom Poos and Stevens both with 37 goals, 35 assists, but Stevens has 179 penalty minutes. Brian Leach third with 71 points. Our boy Jeremy Roenick gets 16 for 58. Goes against, well, Waugh, Richter, and Ezra has been producing. Stenier 53 games with Montreal 54. Harvard only has 48 games. So 23, 23, and 7. We're second in point percentage. Calgary would be second in point percentage in the Smythe. Edmonton leading LA by nip. The Russell thing. We have scored 159 goals, 156 given up. So we've given up the second fewest in the division, but we've only scored 159. 13, 11, 3 at home, 10, 12, 4 on the road. Highlights wise, hat tricks, 39 hat tricks and all. Stefan Ruzek got a hat trick for the Devils against Detroit, but they still lost the game. 11 games at the 30-point mark for FanFan. Top 3. Islanders, San Jose, when the Sharks were up 4-0 and choked it, giving up 6 straight. Edmonton, Vancouver on December 10th. It was a 13-goal battle. Quebec, Washington, December 17th, when things looked tough. Quebec tied it, but Washington won in overtime. LA, St. Louis on January 23rd, which was huge because it was Hall versus Gretzky, and Hall put up 2 goals. Gretzky put up 1, while Gretzky put up 3 assists. Hartford, Montreal, October 14th. Hartford was up 4-1, but gave up 5 straight goals. Washington, Toronto, October 9th. Edmonton, Quebec, November 16th. Washington, Detroit, November 25th. Rangers, Hartford, December 12th. October 12th, excuse me. Buffalo, Calgary, November 16th. Calgary, Boston, January 30th, 7-4. Boston was up 3-0. Carpenter, Murphy, and Hodge, but they choked. Scheduling, we are in Los Angeles, California. We got Gretzky, no Wall. We got Belfort versus Kelly Rudy. Wearing that bandana in the net. Dominic Hasek, our backup, hard to believe. He got traded to Buffalo for Stefan Bouvier, had a 4th-round pick, which ended up being one Eric Daze, who were decent for the Blackhawks when he was healthy. Jimmy Waite doing his job. Ray LeBlanc, the USA Olympic goalie. LA with Kelly Rudy, Daniel Buffon for a while. David Gavern and Steve Weeks also there. Our team, we have JR looking pretty good as a sniper. Steve Larmer, 880 career regular season games consecutively before the contract dispute. Michel Goulet, Quebec and Chicago. Right, dude. Nils Noonan, good player for the 94 Rangers alongside Larmer. Brett Sutter, we picked him up for the Islanders and all that. Dirk Graham, the first black captain in Stanley Cup Finals history. Check it up. Mike Hudson, 94 Rangers. Chris Chelios, second year as a Blackhawk defenseman after being in Montreal for so many years. Steve Smith, picked up by the Chicago Blackhawks from Edmonton for Dave Manson. Steve Smith made a critical boo-boo in the 86 plus for Edmonton. They didn't forgive him, even though he won 3 cups for them. Greg Gilbert, he plays for the Nanford Rangers. Jocelyn Lemieux, Keith Brown, Mike Peluso, Robbie Brown, Brian Marchment, Stephen Matteau, Nanford Rangers. Mike Stapleton, Frank Pizarro, Dan Fazolette, Igor Kravchuk, John Tonelli. For the other head and Tony Hornchuk. For the Kings, we have Lucky Luke Robitaille, great player Tony Granato, great player 2, Wayne Gretzky, the great one Mike Donnelly, Yuri Curry, who was with Edmonton and then spent a year overseas in Italy for hockey, which was weird, and then ended up with the Kings, Bob Kudelski, Corey Miller, Thomas Sandstrom, Davey Taylor, part of the Triple Crown line of the 1970s and 80s, but still around, Marty McSorley. Now, next year, he would be known for his stick being too long, and then 8 years later, well, 8 years after 92, in 2000, he would be known for his stick work on for sure. Rob Blake, a good defenseman, Peter Ahola, Johnny McIntyre, Charlie Huddy, former Oiler, Jay Miller, Larry Robinson, Kitchener, and another 70s icon. Sylvain Couturier, I thought he was a wrestler, Brian Benning, Scott Buchet, Kioski Karjalainen, Daryl Sador, a young Daryl Sador, Tim Waters, and Brent Thompson. Here we go. 3 minutes into the game. Lucky Luke. Do we take advantage? We do. Skill. Power play goal. Brad Sutter. His 20th from Chelios and Tonelli. I think he played for the Kings. 3 minutes later? No. Much better. Noodles. And Granada from Rescue Taylor. 4 minutes later. McIntyre from overtime. Chicago, right? 5 minutes later. Lucky Luke. Gretzky's fucking us up. He's fucking us up. 4 minutes later. Totally misses Roenick. Fuck. Curry scores from Gretzky McIntyre. Gretzky actually came back from injury. Remember the 91 Canada Cup before the season happened, Canada played the US and Gary Sutter did that damn crush trick. 5 minutes later, LA takes a penalty. It's Huddy. Can we get back into the game? Fuck. We're down 4-1. Ray LeBlanc's coming into the game. 4 minutes into the game. Bobby Brown. And Robitaille does it again. A minute left. Special. Coming on us. Chelios. Robinson. Kitchener. Gretzky scored. Taylor Kudelski. Good Taylor. Gretzky is too. Right between Peluso and McSorley. Well, we got McSorley, and Steve Larmer got us 20 from Brown and Sutter. Well, at least we got something positive tonight. 7-2. Man, we suck. Yeah, boy, we suck. We're in San Jose. We were supposed to show the expansion Sharks, but we can't. We'll win 6-2. Belfort beats Jeff Hackett, future Hawk. Pat Falloon and Paul Fenton for the Sharks. We've got Graham, Goulet, Sutter, Goulet, Roenick, Greggy Gilbert. So yeah, we're on our way. We go on the West Coast for some reason. Well, the Olympics are happening right about now, but we don't break for the Olympics. We're in St. Louis for this game. And the Blues are terrible. They're 13, 30, and 11. They would have to go 23 and 3, literally, to tie them right from the previous year, from the relay. And Belfort versus Cujo. So go to Cujo, Guy Hebert, the future Duck icon, being the backup Patrick Blonsky, and Vincent Riandu, the first North American player going to the Russian Super League, which soon become the KFL. You have Brett Hall, the sniper, Brandon Shanahan, the guy who got picked up by the Devils. I mean, the Devils got rid of him. The Blues picked him up in free agency, and then by compensation rules, they were picked. They were allowed to. They were going to lose a player, and they lost Scott Stevens, Nellie Emerson, Jeff Brown, great defenseman, Dave Christian, American Ice Team, Ron Sutter facing off against Brian, Ron Wilson. I don't think it's the coach. Adam Oates, this was when he was traded to Boston. Paul Cavallini, Rich Sutter, around there, the Sutter twins. Juno Cavallini, Bob Dawson, Dave Lowry, Craig Janning. That was the big move. Boston, St. Louis getting Janning in return. Garth Butcher, Rick Sambo, Michel Manchot, Lee Norwood, Murray Byrne, Darren Kimball, Philippe Poussin from France, Kelly Chase, Kurt Giles, and Stefan Quintel. 4 minutes into the game, Kelly Chase, and we can't score. Yeah, we can't. But we get a skewer this one. Who shot JR? JR shot the puck. His 33rd from Noodles and Larmer. It will be Canelli in the box. Butcher gets hit. And then Emerson from Kev Paul and Rich. Shot skewers. Eventually, it's over. It's not Robert Goulet. It's Michel Goulet. 16 from Ronick. 3 minutes later. 2-1 after 20. 1 minute later. No. Much later. Skiers! Mr. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. His first from Sutter and Chelios. Finally, he can score goals. I didn't know he could score. Much later. 3 minutes later. No. We're up 3-1 after 40. But they still are Shaney from Sutter and Paul. That's only his 14th. I have not counted my team. 4 minutes later. Damn it. Damn it again, Brett. 2 minutes later. Split. Peluso. Damn you, Peluso. They can score as many goals as they want. Haha. You blinked. And we survived 3-2. Man, St. Louis has just got nothing right for them today. We don't give up the goal to Brett Hall. It's a win. It has to be a win. It's a win. Where's he go back? Try out. Well, we face LA, but we can't face a team twice in the same video. And we lose 5-2 as Rudy beats Belfort. Again, we lose these guys. Graham and Ronick scoring for us. Granado, Millen, Robitaille, Granado, and Gratz. That's just got 20. Nine games, and none of them are us. When we host Calgary, we're up our way to Calgary. Calgary comes to town, and we got Ray LeBlanc coming in for us. We're so desperate. We got Ray LeBlanc starting in net against Mike Vernon. I thought it would be Hauschuk, but no. Mike Vernon, the coincidental Flames goalie. Jeff Reese, who was picked up by the Flames in the big trade, the 10-player Gilmore trade, and got traded to Toronto. Well, from Toronto for Rick Walmsley. Trevor Kidd, who was just a fresh-faced rookie, is there, and Scott Sharples. Our first look at the Calgary Flames of '92. Gary Roberts lost 2 years because of a neck injury, but came back. Theo Fleury, 5'8" pint-sized hero. Paul Ranheim, Sergei Bakarov, the Calder winner in 1990. So old while he played on the K. He was part of the KML line in the '80s. So old that the NHL had changed their rules on the Calder Trophy winner. Joe Newendike, good player. Al McInnes, Kitchener. That's right, Al McInnes, former Kitchener Ranger. Robbie Reichel, Joe Otto, Roddy Stern, Gary Sutter, whose hit on Gretzky was really wrong. Kerry Wilson, Mark Habshot, Thomas Forsland, Trent Yanni, Frank Musil, Michel Petit, traded from Toronto to Calgary, in a sense. Gary Lehman, former 50-goal scorer of the Leafs, he's now a Flame. Mike Rosecki, Chris Lindbergh, Craig Berube, traded from Toronto to Calgary. Tim Hunter, the Goon, and that's all we need to know. Remember, we do the non-goalies. 3 minutes? No, we're at home, finally. 5 minutes later. They score Roberts his 40th from Manheim and Petit. 4 minutes later. It's on us. Peluso. He scores minutes they want, and Trent Yanni puts it into a Yanni net. Sutter gets hit, but Makarov scores from Sutter 3-0. Already? I've shot bobbled it, but Roenick scores on the shorthanded on the Schulterman 3-1. We scored one. Calgary's on fire. They only had 31 wins the whole season, and then they got 30 in make-believe land. Much later. If ever I should leave you, wouldn't be in summer. Goulet 17 from Brown and Gilbert. Much later. Right. Otto and Peluso. Otto gets blasted. We don't need Peluso, they do. They need Otto. Chance? No. That's the time, Sheet. 2 minutes later. Damn it. Much later. Have a chance? No. Much later. Question? 2 hits, no problems. Come on, guys. Who was with us in West Coast teams? Vernon beats LeBlanc. Hey, LeBlanc gave up 3 goals in 15 minutes, but he was fine the rest of the way. So you can't blame us. Well, we host the Devils, and we tied those pesky Devils, Billington and Hashik. They scored 3 quick goals, Richer, Selpuk, and Boschman, but Goulet, Sutter, and Moronic. And of course, we have to submit the next game because of the fact that we didn't win, we tied. We're in Detroit, we lose to them. Belfort losing the triple day. Goulet, Roenick, and Larmer scoring for them. For us, Burr, Kip, Evan Miller, and 2 Shepherds. 2 Shepherds in the bush. And then we play St. Louis and beat those assholes 6-1. Hey, Bear in there against us. Shave Christian scored the broke the shutout, but Roenick, Kucera, Chelios, Steve Smith even scoring. Larmer and Greg Gilbert. So that's weirdos. It's coming. We're in New York. We'll be playing the New York Rangers in the next game. And we are, well, Detroit's running away with the Norris. We're doing well, second place. Minnesota and Toronto are fighting for third, and probably our opponent. St. Louis is 5 bucks. St. Louis is 5 bucks. Vancouver leading the Smythe with 82. Winnipeg and Calgary are fighting 2 and 3. Edmonton leading LA by 4 points. San Jose's got 29 points. Montreal crushing it in the Adams. Boston second. Buffalo jumping ahead of Hartford. Rangers and Washington are fighting tooth and nail with Patrick. Pittsburgh third. New Jersey fourth, trying to kill those Islanders off. Kevin Stevens and Brett Hall have 51 goals. Ronick is behind. Then Don Poos with 49. Why? Joe Mullen and Gary Roberts. So yeah, Ronick is 6th in goals. Wow, Richter and Essence at 3 stars. Man, Essence is looking good. Belfort 8th. Then you got McLean, Chevrolet, Beauregard. Beauregard? What the hell? And Van Beesbrook. Belfort's got 19 wins. Barrasso and Billington. Billington 7-11 and 4. How does he have a 3-1-7 goals against and a 20-win where Bill Ranford has a 3-7 goals against? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm going to do.